Today we have a first look at something that I'm really excited to get my hands on. This is going to be another product that was sent to us by VIOTEK. If you remember, the last thing they sent was a high refresh rate 24-inch panel. This time around we have the VIOTEK LinQ. I'm gonna guess that might be pronounced Link. This is a 15.6-inch portable IPS monitor. And we have looked at portable panels before. We looked at the Mobile Pixels DuX Pro. And there's a couple of tests we'll do on this that we didn't do on the DuX because these are different targets slightly. This is a slightly larger panel. This is a 15.6. You can see here that they say, connects to most devices, laptops, Xbox, PS4, etc. We've got an HDMI port and a USB-C port on it. It's going to be powered via USB-C, and I believe it will do data over USB-C if connected to an appropriate host. Nothing particularly exciting on the back of the box, just a UPC serial number, and the rest is just some branding, VIOTEK 15.6, etc. There are two versions of this panel. We've unfortunately been sent the non-touch version. The other one simply adds touch. So let's see, this is the P16C. It's a 15.6. Safety precautions. What's included in the box? Monitor, one USB Type-C to Type-A, Type-C to C, mini HDMI to HDMI cable, which is good. That means that I could actually hook it up to my Z-Cam and use it as a confidence monitor or an external monitor based on how my setup is. User manual, product overview, couple of power buttons, etc. There's no SD. There is a headphone jack, it looks like, to connect a 3.5mm compatible external audio device. So here is the monitor itself. Let's just put the box off to the side. That is thinner than the DuX Pro was, but it is heavier. This is a bigger panel. Very rigid, feels like it's gotten, well, let's get the plastic off. The body feels like aluminum through the plastic. It's cool to the touch. Let's see if that is indeed the case. And no, this is some kind of glass ceramic. There's an aluminum portion here. And then this is a kickstand that folds over the monitor for storage to protect it. Yeah, so we've got these aluminum bezels. Actually, the panel itself is much lighter. What weighed so much was actually this, in addition to the panel. So this is a magnetic folding cover that I believe folds up to be a tripod. Does it tell me how to do it? Not specifically, but I bet it'd be pretty obvious. Well, yeah, so if I pull it like that, should be able to use this as a kickstand. Nope, I have done something incorrect here. Is it really that simple? Huh. Would you look at that? Okay. So yes, that folds into a nice little kickstand. All right. OSD controls. So we've got a button, a little up and down, and a headphone jack on one side. And on this side, I have two USB-C ports, and then a mini HDMI. And I believe, do both USB-Cs work the same? There are two Type-C ports. One port delivers power only. The other port supports data transmission only. The two ports are not interchangeable. In general, always connect the Type-C port for power first. Okay, so if you're using a computer, one of these Type-C ports is fully featured and is going to take power and data in. If you are using a mobile device, so they're saying phones, Nintendo Switch, a computer with mini HDMI, the monitor must be powered with a 5-volt, 3-amp, or higher external power device. And we're going to try that. I think we might be able to just power it with a big phone. So let's get a look at our accessories. We have a mini HDMI to HDMI cable. This is about a 3-foot cable. It's actually very nicely made. And I'm glad they include this, because one of the big markets that's going to use this monitor as opposed to one like the DuX is going to be people using cameras like mine and similar ones to it. You know, like I mentioned, as a confidence monitor, as an external monitor for the camera. We've got a Type A to Type C, and this is pretty clearly just a power cable. And if we need that, we actually will go ahead and bring power in from our Zendur. And if we need that, we will go ahead and bring power in from our Zendur Passport 2 Pro. And then this is actually a very nicely made C-to-C cable. Looks like it's also going to be about 3 feet. These are probably all 3-foot or 1 meter cables. This feels like it might be a little bit longer than the HDMI cable. And nope, they are the same length, plus or minus a couple of millimeters. So it just felt longer because it stretched out more easily. So I'm going to lay this down. And I know it says I need more power than this to do it, but I want to see. I want to punish my phone. Well, would you look at that? So, it's not particularly bright. Let's go ahead and open up something that we can display. All right, so that's super dim. Nope. Okay. So if you just try and drive it with your phone, it actually is working on the OnePlus 7 Pro that I have. But brightness is above about 50%, which, granted, looks pretty good. The monitor ran out of juice and powered off. So now let's try this the way that the instruction manual said, just for the sake of it. And I'm going to connect a USB-C for power, which I can already see is driving the screen more brightly than my phone was on its own. And would you look at that? All right. Oh, and it's got speakers in it. So let's go ahead and really quick open up something by Electrix, and play it. Not bad. Interesting though. So I do have to use the volume adjustment on the screen as opposed to my phone. If I try changing the volume with my phone, I just have on or off basically, because it's an external display, and that's probably an issue with Android specifically. I know I can adjust the volume on a PC over external displays. Alright, so that's just a quick look at this VIOTEK panel, which the model number is the LinQ. I'm going to say that's probably pronounced Link. I'm going to check with their product management with that, and it's the P16C. There is a T model which has a touch interface that unfortunately wasn't available when this one was sent out to us. So, quick take, first take. It worked. It worked out of the box and better than it told us it was going to the point where I didn't actually need the external power, although as you saw, I was brightness limited severely by that. So overall, it's got this nice cover, which apparently is a lot easier to use than I thought it was. It just kind of folds over and there it is. Viewing angles looked good. It is a glossy screen, and I'm glad they included a microfiber cloth because I am getting fingerprints on it. I personally would have preferred a matte screen. I know why they have a gloss screen here. As you can see, all the reflections of me and my studio and various pieces of equipment in it. So we're going to do more testing on this. It's going to be a little bit different than the monitors we've looked at before. This isn't a high refresh rate monitor, so we're not going to be sending this off to Jordan for testing in gaming scenarios. But it is a portable monitor, so most of the things that we did on the DuX Pro are still going to be tested on this. And then one thing that we didn't test on the DuX Pro that we did on the VIOTEK is color accuracy. This is an IPS panel, and it's something that we can talk to directly. We're not using the display link interface to compress the video over a USB link. And that has some implications as far as its viability for graphic artists and videographers and photographers. An IPS panel has increased viewing angles. An IPS panel has improved color accuracy over TN and VA in most instances. So that means that this is going to be a monitor that, unless I get something really bad when I calibrate it, is going to be good for a photographer to use if they're on the go and they just need a second screen when they're editing photos. And the same thing would apply to a videographer. Is going to be a good panel to use as an external monitor for a camera in a studio setting. The only hesitation I have at first glance with considering it for something like that is that it is gloss, which you can do in a studio setting. The LG tablet that I use as my studio monitor, which also controls my camera, has a gloss screen on it, but I can also see the reflections of my lights, and that's not desirable. Monitors that are built for that specifically tend to be matte panels, and that also has the potential to cause issues outdoors. That said, an indoor studio like mine, or like other studios I've worked with before, probably not a bad choice. Like I said, as long as the color accuracy doesn't come back terrible out of the box. So it does say that you can use it on the go for gaming. You know, they specifically mention, I think they mentioned the PS4 for their game console suggestion. We do have FreeSync support, and yeah, they show a PlayStation 4. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even notice that before. It says, if experiencing display issues, please turn off HDR on the computer using the monitor's OSD menu. So this may support HDR as well. Let's take a look. Yeah, so we have HDR support on this. That is amazing, and I really do expect to get a good color gamut out of it because of that. In fact, I don't know why that wasn't printed in bold somewhere else, unless it just doesn't do a great job of it. But yeah, I don't even see HDR mentioned up until there's a note about, hey, Windows 10 has issues with it, which it does. Or yeah, okay. So and we do get color settings on the panel for the OSD, so you can actually calibrate the panel, not just the software profile on Windows. That's actually going to be a huge benefit to, as I mentioned, those videographers, photographers, people using this as an external monitor, graphic artists. The touch monitor might be more desirable for people looking to use this as a Wacom replacement or something like that. We also have some other stuff that is going to go along with that particular user group as well coming up soon. So that's everything we've got for today. That's the VIOTEK LinQ P16C. Really impressive design so far, and we'll get it into proper testing soon. If you have any questions about it, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. We'll make sure to cover those as best we can. One thing I do want to check really quick. Okay, so the price point on this is $169.99, which puts it actually cheaper than the DoX Pro. The DoX Pro, when we looked at that, that's a $250 monitor now. But this won't bolt on the back of a screen. It's actually too big for most laptops, so there's a convenience factor there, and this may require more cabling depending on your specific laptop's ability to output power. A Thunderbolt 3 port should provide enough power, but some systems may not. Anyway, enough rambling. I want to go ahead and thank our patrons for helping make content like this possible. I also want to thank anyone who uses our Amazon affiliate links. That helps us purchase cables and things that we need, various adapters when we cover things that may not be included by the manufacturer, or occasionally things like flash drives that we just want to review, because how often do you get to look at a flash drive with a bottle opener in it? That all said, as I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions, comments, specific tests you want to see, tests that we may have left out, let us know in the comments below, and we will make sure to do those as best we can. and thank you for watching.